Yo, every Wednesday night, you better tune in tight. At 7 p.m. CST, we bring in that insight. Halas Hall Report, best podcast in the game. Stats and facts, you'll remember the name. Host Ken Dub got the knowledge on lock. Co-host Woody the Bear fan, talking all that talk. 3 Bear fans chilling, opinions on the side. We're here for the love, riding that Bear pride. Halas Hall, we break it down right. Join us on the journey from day to night. Blue and orange army taking over the scene. 2025's the year, know what we mean. Bear fans unite, it's our time to rise. Sunday mornings, pre-game vibes in the skies. Lions think they're fierce with Dan Campbell's call, but all that greed ain't gonna help them at all. Same old story, we know how it goes. They just can't compete, everybody knows. Minnesota Vikings always talking smack, but when it's game day, they ain't got the knack. Sitting on the couch while we're making a stand. Over here in Chi-Town, we're the best in the land. Halas Hall, we break it down right. Join us on the journey from day to night. Blue and orange army taking over the scene. 2025's the year, know what we mean. Bear fans unite, it's our time to rise. Sunday mornings, pre-game vibes in the skies. Packer fans yell blow pack blow, but can't see the truth. We're stealing the show. Rivalry heated, but we stay real cool. Halas Hall Report, yeah, that's the rule. With every episode, we build that hype. Stats and team news, we got the right type. Fan base strong, we ain't looking back. 2025, it's a winning attack. So gather round fans, put your hands in the air. Every Wednesday night, we're breathing that bear. Join the revolution, watch the magic unfold. Halas Hall Report, we're breaking the mold. Halas Hall, we break it down right. Join us on the journey from day to night. Blue and orange army taking over the scene. 2025's the year, know what we mean. Bear fans unite, it's our time to rise. Sunday mornings, pre-game vibes in the sky. So mark your calendars, don't miss a beat. Every Wednesday night, Halas Hall can't be beat. Stats, facts, team news on deck. Halas Hall Report, what did you expect? 2025, the Bears are here to stay. Blue and orange in the north, leading the way.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Sunday morning edition of Halas Hall Report. Woody will be with us shortly. I think Broski should be here soon. And we've got, of course, in the house, Bear fan Dan. Good morning, Dan.
Good morning.
How you been doing?
All right, and you?
Busy. I've been busy,
Yeah.
Using the pool, using the hot tub, cutting the grass, the normal stuff. And, of course, we got the producer extraordinaire, as he now wants to be called, Mike the Bear fan in the house. Good morning, Mike. Producers, they don't like to talk, I guess. They don't talk often. So,
No, we do. We just got to share it 78 times before we do talk. So carry on.
Dude, you got a 2.5-minute intro video.
I got like 3 profiles to switch from to share it to all the groups because certain groups don't allow pages in.
Yeah, but he's got a point there. He's got a point there. Whereas I'm just sharing it to the X community. Good morning, Bears Twitter, and I hope you all are having a great Bear morning. If you're on Twitter, don't forget you can comment live on the show. Don't comment on the post like you would normally do a regular post. You gotta click into the live chat and become part of the show, man. If you're on Bears Twitter, got quite a few there right now from Bears Twitter and from X in general. So yeah, Dan, not a lot going on, but I don't know if you saw the clips yesterday. I mean, Caleb's been having a busy week besides, going to concerts. He had a Fanatics event, and they asked him about Green Bay fans, and he just said, quote, "They suck." and then he went into basically how after the game last year when they won, they went to go jump in the section full of Bears fans, and the Packers fans rushed them, pushing the Bears fans, pushing the players, throwing stuff at the players. I mean, real classy stuff by Packer fans there, to push the Bear fans out of the way so they could shove the players off the wall and throw things at them. So, yeah, I kind of agree with Caleb, man. Packer fans suck.
Yeah, that we're get the role reverse, they'd be going at us, for.
oh my God, you pushed our Packer players. You threw
How
a beer at them. I mean, first off, if you're a Packers fan and you're throwing a beer at a player, you should be exiled from the state of Wisconsin, the land of beer. You're wasting beer by throwing it at someone. I mean, right there, that should just get you kicked out of Wisconsin, period. That state has more breweries than I think any state in the country, and you're going to waste beer? Really? But no, that was funny, though. He just said, yeah, Packer fans suck. I mean, you expect him to say that too, right? I mean, that's kind of expected. So, yeah, that was interesting this weekend when that happened. So, otherwise, it's been pretty quiet. I mean, OTAs, there's some scheduled OTAs, but nothing mandatory, no big contracts. I think the Bears are done signing people until training camp, and that's if, like, you know, someone doesn't work out or there's an injury. I don't know. What are you thinking, Dan?
Yeah, see what they do. I mean, a couple of areas, you know, there are like a couple of areas yet that could use another guy or so. But how much do we have left in?
According to Spotrac, we're right about 15 million. However, interesting complexity of the NFL this year. Of the 32 second-round picks, only 2 have signed. 30 second-round picks have not signed, and here's why, for those who haven't been paying attention this offseason. Cleveland signed their first second-round pick to a guaranteed rookie deal, 100% guaranteed contract on the rookie deal. That was then followed up by the Texans, who gave their pick a guaranteed deal. So now guess what all the second-round picks want?
Guaranteed deals.
They all want guaranteed deals, and the Bears have 3 of those guys. But we're going to about 5 or 6 million of our cap is going to be the second round guys. So we'll have roughly 9 to 10 million going into camp available, roughly. And usually, as you guys know, they like to keep a cushion, right? Injuries.
How much money we got right now left?
That's well, I just said that.
Oh, is that what it? That's all we got.
About almost 15 mil. But after you sign the second round guys, you're at about 9 to 10 mil, right in that ballpark. The problem is, you know, teams always like GMs like to keep a cushion, right? Because someone gets hurt, you need to sign a guy. You need to have cap room, right? You want to make that trade deadline acquisition. You need cap space to absorb, because how often at the trade deadline do teams that are buying do a player swap, right? It's usually a player for a draft pick, which means you have to do what? Spend cap money when you bring that guy in. So I don't think the Bears are going to sign anyone until maybe, you know, as camp goes on, maybe some people get cut. You know, maybe they do some redo some contracts, extensions, reworks, whatever. But right now, like, I know Woody wants Clowney to possibly be signed in Chicago. We had talked about Jair before he signed with Baltimore, you know, peeling off 6 to 10 million for him. Obviously that didn't happen.
I like the
and he goes to Baltimore, but I don't think the Bears are going to spend any money at all with that. So
I feel like we got what we need. I really don't think we need anybody else, unless you guys think of something. I think that we're pretty set.
Yeah, I agree with you, Joe. I mean, I really don't see this needing much. Look at here's some other interesting facts. Last year we spent, if not the least, we were damn near the bottom of the list for spending on the offensive line last year. This year, coming into the season, the Bears are 6th in the league for spending on the offensive line. So we put a lot of capital and resources into the offensive line.
It's about time.
This year.
About time, bro.
Joe, you said something like we got what we needed. Are you talking about like full team round or just offensive line?
No, I'm thinking of the whole team. Like, what else can we add? I think we got like everything.
We need a better defensive end. And edge
Yeah, I was gonna say
other
that.
than that, we did pretty good.
Do we? I mean,
I
let's
feel-
get back
I
on that a
feel
little
we
bit.
do.
Do we?
I feel we do.
I mean, the Bears give Deo $8 million, and people are like, "Well, wait." And then when they ask Poles about it, it's like, "Well, we're projecting him to take a big step forward." So if Deo does as Poles and Allen and everyone else, on the Bears head shed thinks maybe we have that defensive end already, Mike. And good morning, Go Pack Go. We don't fight kneecaps here. Those are the Lions.
I mean, possibly, but when we made the trade for Sweat, he wasn't like what he was doing in Washington. He wasn't terrible, but I mean, he was the only one on the defensive line. So I'm not saying he can't do it, but Sweat definitely needs to step it up, especially for what he's getting paid.
Well, he also had turf toe the whole year last year.
No, right.
Every week.
I think it was his first year, right? They gotta kind of gel together. They gotta learn how they run the defensive line. So I think it was just 1 year in. Now they know the team. I think they're gonna do way better this year.
Well, like last year, every week when Woody would do, when we would get the injury report every week, Montez Sweat was on it. He was injured. He played through injury the whole year last year. I think it ended up being a turf toe, which is not a fun injury, especially for a defensive end who does what he does. Mike's argument, well, we could use our defensive end. I mean, I think as of right now, we're fine because they believe in Deo. And then you've got Booker coming behind, who will be in year 2, right? As a rookie, they played 26 or 28% of snaps last year. So I would look for his role to maybe increase. And that kid showed some freakish ability in college and in the preseason last year. So if he takes a step forward, Mike, I think we could be good at defensive end.
I believe Booker will take a step forward, like you said. I believe he will. I just think we need – I don't know. We just need a better defensive edge, like permanent. Don't get me wrong. He's decent, but he didn't play a lot of snaps last year. And
well, was that because he was injured?
No, he was a rookie. He was a rookie.
Oh, he's a rookie, yeah.
He played like 26 to 28% of the snaps. I mean, that would be one area, I guess, that I could say we could watch. Well, we're obviously going to watch it to see if Deo is what Foles and Allen think he is.
Well, let's just
but he was sharing a role with Pickens, so does that like push Pickens out a little bit?
No, it just pushes Pickens into the rotation. So now you got 4 guys in the rotation versus 3.
Well,
last year you didn't get a lot of rotation as it was.
I just know that Chicago's always been a defensive team, bro, and now we finally have an offense, so we get to see a whole different dynamic. Like, I understand the old school Bear fans still want to see that 85 defense, and Urlacher and them, they did it, but they couldn't win the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? So we need offense, and we've always neglected offense forever, and now we have it.
I think though defensively, though, going back to Mike before we cross over to the other side of the ball, if Deo is what they think he is, and we got Pickens and Booker in reserve, and you're right, Mike, they might not get much rotation time, but they're there. So that also means, though, if you've got a higher quality reserve or rotation, now maybe you can rotate Montez out more, especially let's say if he's fighting a turf toe or any kind of nagging injury. You can keep those guys a little fresher. I think we might see more with Allen of a rotation with the defensive ends. Plus, the interior got a lot more nasty, right, with some signings, with a signing as well. So the interior is going to be better, which will make the edge better too, right? Because if you got a very disruptive interior that the offensive line has to account for, who are you going to double team? You can't double team all 4 guys along the front. So I think the pass rush will be better this year. And I think that's the main concern. My concern as far as like what we need, how about safeties under contract post this year? We have no safeties under contract after this season ends. All right, let's go to the offensive side of the ball. I guess we're pushing that way. Go Pack Go. First off, hey, thanks for joining the show the other night, that impromptu one I did with that mock draft. That was an interesting show, wasn't it, man? I didn't know what I was getting into, and I got into it, but it was fun. But let me ask you this, Dan, does Ben Johnson make Caleb a better player this year?
Possibly. I'm hoping.
What do you mean 100%? 100%, bro. This is why everybody keeps talking about Detroit, but they lost Ben Johnson. So you don't think that's going to have a huge impact on their offense? 100%, dude. And he came here for a reason, because he sees potential in Caleb and he sees we got a squad. That's why Ben Johnson came here. Obviously, pay money, all that good stuff. But he could have stayed in Detroit if he believed that he could win a Super Bowl there. He would have stayed there. He came here because he wanted a head job, and he sees a lot in Caleb. I love it. I feel like Detroit's going to drop. They're going to drop for sure. They're not going to be as explosive, even though people think that.
What do you think, Dan?
I think it will. Hopefully, I think I've seen talking about Lions fans. I've seen Lions fans saying, "Oh, we're not worried about losing Ben Johnson. We're worried about us losing Aaron Glenn. Not worried about Ben Johnson."
Oh, you're talking about Detroit?
Oh, Detroit. Yeah. Well, no, a lot of Detroit fans wanted Aaron Glenn gone. They were happy he went to the Jets, but Ben Johnson obviously struck a chord as they started coming up with names for him and everything else. I don't know, Mike. I mean, what do you think about? I mean, I know you like the Ben Johnson hire. How much better do you think Ben Johnson makes Caleb this year?
I believe he improves for sure because it's going from the Waldron offense to his, so it's big. So I believe he does.
Yeah, I mean, to go to Joe's point real quick, like, with Detroit, and Go Pack Go said, hey, the Lions offense looks nasty on paper. And it does. They have some skill. They still have a lot of very good players in Detroit. Of course, they just lost 2 starters off their offensive line as well. But look, at the guy that brought in Morton, he's from within because he's from he's kind of like the architect, I guess, the guy who taught Ben Johnson some things. Okay, fine. They'll have some drop off though because it's a different play caller, right? Ben Johnson was the play caller there. Ben Johnson will be the play caller here, and this is where I give Packer fans a lot of credit, or the Packers, not the fans, a lot of credit.
Yeah,
their head coach, Matt LaFleur, as much as we may hate him, he calls the right plays at the right times for his guys. Like, he has a good understanding of his team's capabilities, and he coaches to their capabilities. I think Ben Johnson's going to do the same thing in Chicago. And people think, well, he's just going to do the same offense. Well, no, he already came out and said, look, I'm designing this offense around Caleb and the guys I have. What does he have? Well, let's look at this. And this is where Joe is excited. We have now 2 tight ends who are legit weapons. We now have 3 receivers that are legit weapons. We now have a running back room where you've got one guy who definitely has home run hitting speed. We have a guy that we have high hopes for in Roschon Johnson that a lot of fans feel has not been properly utilized as a Bear. And then we got Monangai, who we drafted in the 7th round, who's getting high praise from everyone who sees this kid touch the ball. He had no fumbles in his entire college career, right? So, I mean, there's reason. And then we spent a boatload of money on an offensive line to protect Caleb. And you're looking now. Now, here's the bad piece of that, though. The offensive line on day one is going to have 4 new starters. So I'm not going to say it's bad news. Let me say, let's temper our expectations. I don't expect that line to be real great come out week 1. Why? Well, preseason, they don't play. They're going to have camp. They're going to have practices, but it's going to take a couple weeks for that offensive line to start to gel. You got 4 new starters, one of them a rookie. So that's going to take a little bit of time, but I expect massive improvement. And I put it this way. Infante had a post on X about this, and I commented on his post. He was talking about the Bears' offensive line. I said, look, if the offensive line is only half as bad as it was last year, this offense can do a lot of really good things. What do you think about that, Dan?
I agree.
And Joe, you missed that, but I said, I don't know if you heard the comment. I said,
no, I did it. I accidentally hit done, and it kicked me out.
I said on X on a post, if the Bears' offensive line is half as bad as it was last year, this offense is going to be really good.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was saying. Like, Caleb did pretty damn well for no coach, really not knowing the team. You know what I'm saying? And you could tell he's hungry for wins. He gets really frustrated when they lose. I love that. That's what we need, man. We need a quarterback that actually wants to win and gets angry when we don't and leads the team. You know what I'm saying? He wants to win. That's what I like about him. And I was definitely a Justin Fields fan, but he just couldn't lead the team, right? He couldn't lead the team. Like, whereas Caleb, he's different. He wants to win. You see him frustrated when he's not getting what he wants, So I feel like there's going to be a lot of good things that we're going to see this year. I'm excited about it. I can't wait to make trash talk videos. I'm excited about really ripping the rest of the division because they really think they got something. The only team in the division I'm is still worried about is Detroit. But again, I said the whole thing with the coaching. I'm not worried about Green Bay at all. I really still think I'm going to sit on it. Freaking Jordan Love is not really that good. I really think he's a average, maybe above average quarterback, but everybody hypes him up. I don't know why. And then they blame the receivers when he doesn't do good. Come on.
I mean,
Come
look,
on.
I would push back a little bit. I think this division in total, if you ask honestly who wins this division, I'll tell you right now, flip a coin.
Yeah.
All four teams have a legitimate shot at winning this division, I think. There's talent across the board. Green Bay's got a great running game. They got a good defense. They did something they haven't done in 2 decades. They drafted a wide receiver who has some jets, who has some hands. The one thing where I agree with you, Joe, though, in a way, is Jordan Love. For him, it's kind of a prove to the Packers and the fans that the contract he got was worth the money they're paying him, that he was worth that money. Because last year he didn't prove it. He had some injuries last year. But like I said, Matt LaFleur coaches his guys well, so he's going to look good. If you look at Minnie, they still have a really good defense overall. Their back end needs a little work, fine. Offensively, if JJ just manages and doesn't do a lot of stupid crap, just puts the ball on time, on target where it's supposed to go, they still have a lot of weapons, and they're going to be a team. The North is really probably the best division in football. All four teams can make legitimate claims as to why they should win the division. I don't think anyone gets swept in the division right now. There's a possibility for it because, Detroit, with the coaching changes, the wheels could fall off. If the wheels are going to fall off anywhere for me, it's Detroit first with the coaching changes and the offensive line changes. If the wheels fall off there, and second then for me would be Minnesota. If J.J. McCarthy, does a lot of dumb rookie things, throwing a lot of interceptions, has bad ball management, then the wheels could fall off there a little bit.
Well,
I think
that's why back to
not
to change the subject, but like back to the Jordan Love thing. How many interceptions did he throw last year? If the guy, I've said it from the beginning that he's soft, meaning that he's afraid to get hit. So like when he's under pressure, he basically makes mistakes.
He did. He look at the red zone picks he had last year. I'm not saying he didn't have his own mistakes. He did play a lot of last year injury, and I agree with Go Pack Go. I think they addressed some of their issues as well. I think, though, of all the teams in North, they're the most stable coming into the season, right? And Go Pack Go is right. Love did play hurt last year, and that may have affected some of it too, but they're the most stable overall, right, as far as organizationally. I don't see the wheels flying off Green Bay this year. But the potential is more there with Detroit first, then Minnesota. And really, Love, I get what you're saying. He's got a good coach. They find easy plays for him. As far as how dynamic of a quarterback, that's something that could be debatable during the season. I think the Packers are actually kind of fine. But let me switch the topics up really quick on this. And let's go back to the Bears offense real quick.
Okay.
So I want to talk first about some of our additions, and I want to ask the question of the rookie offensive additions, and we're going to go through all of them. Where do we see the most impact? So first, I'm going to go up with Colson Loveland, right? Here's some stats on him. Very nice overlay put together by producer Mike, and I got to show his work because it's good as always. Just in time for Woody too. Welcome Woody to the stage as soon as his camera. There he goes. Welcome Woody to the stage. And Woody, we were just getting into the question I'm asking right now as we're going to go through the 3 rookies, right? The 3 rookie offensive. Well, the second rounders pretty much. The first second rounders. Who's going to have the most impact? And the first one we're looking at is Colson Loveland. Here's his college statistics: 9 career drops, so 7.7% drop rate. He's now being matched up with Cole Kmet. What kind of impact, Woody, do you see Loveland having offensively this year? And on a second piece to that, does he make Cole Kmet? Does he render Cole Kmet obsolete to a point where Cole Kmet could be a trade deadline move, or we cut him at the end of the season, or will we maybe possibly keep both at the end of the year?
Well, I think Loveland's going to have a tremendous year like a Brock Bowers to have a trade potential of Cole Kmet if they use Cole Kmet right. That's my opinion on that. I see his stats. Michigan was, even with J.J. McCarthy when he was there, they were a running team. 582 yards with 5 TDs last year, playing 10 games. He was okay. The drop rate is, phenomenal, I think, for a college guy. The impact, it all depends on how Ben Johnson plays his offense and what he does. Is he going to be a running team first, pass second? But I think Loveland will have a sort of impact on this offense. Depends how he uses him and Kmet at the same time, if they have him on the field at the same time.
Yeah, what do you think, Joe?
Yeah, so I want to make sure I'm off my.
Oh, Joe, I think you muted. There you go.
Yeah, hold
You
on.
had somewhat muted yourself. There you go.
All right. So no, I think I think Cole Kmet is still our number one. I don't think he was used enough last year because they used him a lot to protect Caleb. You know what I'm saying? Because our line wasn't it. So I've noticed like a lot of plays, like he should have been out there getting passes, and they kept using him to protect Caleb. So I don't think we really got to see the full potential of Cole Kmet. I like the new kid 100%, but I still think Cole Kmet's going to be our number one. And I think if they use him, he could do a lot for us if they actually use him this year instead of blocking.
So before I go to Dan, a little bit of a breakdown of some of those stats. So last year, he averaged just over 10 yards per catch. The national championship year, he averaged 14.4 yards per catch. Cole Kmet averages around 10 yards per catch. And every time we throw the ball at Cole, good things tend to happen, right? Yeah. So two guys who are averaging 10 yards or better per catch, Dan, I mean, I think Loveland can make a pretty good impact to the passing game, don't you?
Yeah, and I'm also hoping that comes down that we can try to keep both. I'm trying to keep Kmet.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm in the camp of keep both. Broski, who's not with us this morning, tends to think that he's gone, and there's good reason for that though, because of the finances of football. Yeah. Right now, we have no safeties under contract for next year. We're negative $2 or $3 million for the cap as of now. Now, if you add $20 million for the annual pay raise, that gives us about $17 million, which is basically your draft picks and maybe, I don't know, a safety, because we have 0 safeties on the roster for next year. You've got 3 guys who are cut potential because of money. Edmonds is the biggest one. Then Cole Kmet, you can save $10 million, and Swift, you can save like $6 or $7 million. So that's why there's some discussion where Cole Kmet maybe isn't here next year because of his contract. So I think, though, like both of them together, with Ben Johnson's proclivity for liking a 2 tight end offense, it does show it could be something special. And then we go to the next rookie who has, and of course, he has not signed yet. Loveland has signed. These next 2 have not. They're part of those second rounders who, where none of them have signed yet without guaranteed deals. Luther Burden III. Now, the big rub on him, which I thought was hilarious when I was watching draft coverage. Remember, I missed ours. I was on the road to a wedding. I was reading the reports, and these guys, Luther Burden III is only a slot route runner. Great, that's what we drafted him to be, right? We want this guy to run the slot. Here's the stats. Woody, what do you think Burden's impact is going to be in Chicago this year?
Well, quick, Ken, I'm going to go back to Loveland just quick. He just had his shoulder surgery on January. It should take about 4 to 6 months to be fully back. So we're hoping that doesn't take an effect as well. Burden, well, I mean, 2023 had a hell of a year. He's fast, and his drop rate is great. I'm thinking we did need a slot receiver, because of Tyler Scott. He wasn't working out. I think he's going to be one of those little quick slant passes, which Bears need to start doing as well. Is the quick slant passes like a 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, or something like that. Bears veered away from that. I think Luther will help us out with that.
Yeah, what do you think, Joe?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at his stats, and I guess my only concern is that he had a great 23, and then he kind of dropped off the next year. So why? Why did he decline? Were they not utilizing him more? Was it him? So that's the only thing I see. But I definitely don't think we're going to use him as much as we think. I think he's just going to be there and maybe play some snaps, but I think he's just going to be there as like a second. He's not going to be a starter for sure. I think he's going to definitely have an impact for us. But the only concern I have is those stats, how they dropped big time the next year.
Well, look at the targets though. I mean, look at the catches. He goes from 86 to 61. So obviously they threw to him less. Mizzou went through transition. Obviously they lose players every year and gain players every year. So if his
like the touchdowns. I like the touchdowns.
I mean, he was still productive, right? He had almost 300 plus yard change and only 3 touchdown change. So I mean, I think he's going to be perfect for what we need. Yeah, he'll be the third receiver. It'll be DJ and Rome will be the main 2. But I think I like him. I look at, you've got 3 really good receivers on this team now. And I was going to say, when was the last time? But it was last year because we had Keenan Allen, who had a lot of drops last year, surprisingly.
And an interception.
Yeah, and an interception. I can't forget that one.
Don't forget that stat.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I like where the Bears are sitting. And then you look at the third impact, and this is probably the one people are the most excited for, is Ozzie. I mean, it looks like he's going to be the starting left tackle at this point. Big dude, 6'8".
That's the first thing I noticed. Dude's massive.
Yeah,
he doesn't have noodle arms either.
Who got noodle arms?
No, he doesn't. Ozzie, like they were talking about Will Campbell having little short noodle arms and stuff
T-Rex.
like that.
Little T-Rexes.
Yeah. But the 7 sacks in his career. I mean, Boston College, is an ACC team. It's kind of impressive, but yeah, I think Braxton Jones is in trouble this year till he gets even when Braxton Jones gets healthy. If Ozzie keeps it up, he's going to keep that starting job.
Yeah, what do you think, Joe?
No, I like this guy, man. I think he's definitely going to be a massive addition to us. He's massive. I just looked at his photos like, damn, man, this guy's big. I think I don't know if they're going to start him, but they should. And like what Woody said, what was it, Braxton? He has to be worried about his job because everyone hypes him up, but I mean, he doesn't protect as well as he should, I think. And I think this guy looks like a great addition. Hopefully we get to see him this year.
If Ozzie, right now they have him slotted as a starting left tackle because Braxton should be back by camp, but it's a little questionable how much he'll be back. But I look at it this way. Braxton, this is his final year of his rookie deal. I think Braxton becomes a great backup on the right tackle side for Wright if Wright should be injured. I think he also could be slotted inside. He could become like a rotational guy. Because he wasn't bad overall. He's still in the top 20 for offensive linemen last year, or tackles. I'm sorry, tackles in the league last year. Of 80 some tackles, he was in the top 20 or so. So I mean, he's got some talent. I think though the good thing about it is, with Trapio starting, it makes Braxton Jones' value depreciate in terms of contract value, right? Post this year, where the Bears can re-sign him for a decent pay raise, not a massive one, but a decent one, and keep him as a depth piece. Which that's the thing that scares me about our team is we got all this change up front, but we don't have a lot of depth. Well, now you keep Braxton Jones as depth. You've got Kieran as depth, and coming to year 2. Well, remember he was a rookie last year. Got it.
Ken, I understand that, but when you tell Caleb, hey, you don't have to worry about getting sacked, and he got killed that game.
I know. Well,
shut your mouth.
Look, dumb rookie things to say and do, right? But I mean, if they can continue to develop Kieran, and you can sign Braxton to stay in that roster, now you've got a little bit of depth. You got a little bit because here's my question: what happens if Tooney goes down, which he doesn't have a long history of injuries? Or what happens if Jonah at right guard gets hurt? Who's next? So I like having Braxton there who can fit in and play that, and or Kieran even if he has. I like having some depth, and I think if Ozzie works, he provides not only maybe a new lockdown left tackle, right? If he can be locked down, but now you have the ability with Braxton Jones to make him a reserve rotation guy, which overall should improve your line.
Well, I don't think Braxton Jones was so much protection. All these Bears fans because of his penalties that he gave up, full starts, holdings. That was one of his big issues.
How many penalties did he have last year, though?
Oh, who the hell knows?
Hey, that's a good stat to look up. Yeah, because I mean, penalties freaking kills the offense. So if he put up a lot of penalties, then I'm with Woody on that one. Get rid of that guy. Like I didn't think he did that well as protection, but this new guy, hopefully, will either make him step up or he could be a replacement or a backup. Either way, it's good.
Okay, so Braxton Jones had 5 penalties in the first 2 games of the year last year. From that point on, he had 7 penalties the rest of the year. So 12 penalties over 17 games total.
Yeah, but you know what though? You're practicing every week. And what was most of those penalties? Holdings or full start? The full starts is what scares me because you're practicing every day. Now holding, sometimes the guy's faster than you, but what the fuck are you gonna do? But the full starts is what worries me.
I don't disagree with you, Woody, but I also contextually look at it this way too. Some of that was because of the guy next to him.
All the way.
You know what I mean? Like, okay, crap. The left guard isn't quite doing the job, and now I gotta help. And that created some penalties there, I think, too. So I mean, I agree with you, 12 penalties. Probably too many. But I think some of those is more because of what else went along the line. With Tooney sitting there, I don't think you have as many penalties because he's not worried about covering for Tooney.
But again, that when it comes to penalties, that's only 5 away from 1 a game. That's pretty high.
Who was the left guard last year? Exactly. So that's what I'm saying is like some of those penalties, I'm not trying to absolve them of his penalties, right? But when we look situationally, some of those penalties are created because I got to cover down for the guy next to me because otherwise Caleb is dead. So I get it. There's a lack of help or he has to give help. I agree with Woody, but I want to see what's different now that you've got a good left tackle or left guard next to you. Like if the penalties still happen this year like that, then I 100% like get them out of here. But I think some of those penalties were just because of the rest of the line because the only 2 guys on the line last year who were producing at all were your left and right tackle. So I think some of that has to go because of what happened in the middle. And it was interesting comment that got brought up earlier by Go Pack Go, and I want to throw that back up here. Every team in the NFC North is running a different center this year. And I think there'll be some penalties early on because of that. So some of these offensive line penalties we see are because of the lack of cohesion on lines until they gel. As lines gel, the penalties go down, the protection also gets better. But I think Braxton will still be on this roster post this year, hopefully in a reserve role, because I think he's still going to be a good piece to bring off the bench in a rotation. Or if you have an injury that you need him for a game or 2, he's not terrible, is what I'm saying. And I'm hoping, like Ozzy, I hope Ozzy's a massive impact and can start, going back to what we started this with. If Ozzy Trapillo can start, that puts the Bears in a great position because now we have this luxury of this discussion we're having about Braxton Jones. If Ozzy Trapillo can't be a starter and is not a good left tackle, we have no choice but to go back to Braxton Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I don't want is because Bears are used to it the last couple of years. One person getting injured and they fluctuate the whole goddamn line. Like I said before, Cody Whitehair played every position on that offensive line because of our injuries. That's what I don't want.
This Woody don't have to worry too much, man. We have Ben Johnson.
But I mean, but Woody, I'm 100%, and I think that's where Braxton and Kieran become more advantageous for the Bears this year. Is now if Tooney goes down, I don't have to move someone from left tackle. I have a guy on the bench I can slot in and leave my left tackle or my right tackle or my right guard or my center alone. Right? You know what I'm saying, though? I don't have to move my right guard.
I like Woody. He has a little laugh and he wants to no, he's got to say something. Go ahead, Woody, say it.
But Woody, though, I mean, like, okay, is Braxton going to be the perfect fix? I don't know. But at least now I don't have to move Ozzy from left tackle to left guard or move Darnell right, which they would never do probably. But I don't have to move anyone else off that line. The other four can stay in their spot. I don't have to shift guys around the line. I have a guy I can plug in for the game or two that Tooney would be gone or that Jackson is out. I don't have to shift the entire line. I only have to shift the injured guy out and replace him with the healthy guy.
So you're saying he's offensive. So you're saying all these guys at offensive linemen at practice are doing every position on offensive line?
No, I'm saying like your starters, like you don't have to worry about your right guard becoming your left guard who becomes your left tackle anymore. Like the guys who are going to be filling into those slots are going to be, I think Kieran is only going to be good on the tackles. I think though Braxton's build, I think it'd be smart of the Bears to move him inside to guard. I think Braxton really, if Kieran takes a step, Kieran is going to be the guy who replaces the tackles. So if you need a tackle, it'll be Kieran. If you need a guard, it'll be Braxton. I think that's the route they may end up going. And if they do, that's great because now I'm not shifting people around as much, which has been our big problem, right? Is we don't have another Cody Whitehair incident. The only question I have right now is who's the center if Dahlman goes down? Because Dahlman hasn't played a full season in like 2 years.
Our long snapper.
Yeah, the kid we just got from Iowa.
Yep.
So those are the three impact rookies we got. And then Mike put this little thing together. Let me check the comment really quick. Oh, hello. Was it Milan? Chandra Roy. Hello. Good to see you this morning. Mike had another topic he wanted to kind of look at, and that is this. This right here. The players to improve for 2025. And we've talked about one of them already being Montez Sweat. Who last year was on the injury report the whole year. Caleb, look, with all the sacks. I mean, we're not talking about his interception rate or something like that. We're talking mostly about sacks, maybe some decision making. And then for some reason, and Woody, I don't know why he's on there. And Mike kind of like when we were talking pre-show, was like, he was on this list, and I'm not sure why, but I went with it so you guys can talk about it, and I guess we can a little bit. But yeah, Swift is on the list, and I'll start with Swift. Dude, Swift had 950 yards with a crap offensive line. He has home run hitting ability, which we saw more than a few times last year. But I don't think he's really – but at the same time, Bears fans, Swift, he's going to be the first one gone. Like, Bears fans still have this – thing where they don't like Swift because we didn't get another running back who went to the Eagles, who was plan A, by the way. Swift was plan B to that. I don't know why they hate for Swift, but what do you think about this list of players to improve for next year?
Of course, everybody knows I don't like Caleb.
What?
No, not at all.
What the heck is wrong with you, Woody?
No.
He's our quarterback.
He's our quarterback. We had the last 20 that were our quarterback too, and I like.
Right, but you're still having past traumatic experience. You have post-traumatic stress disorder because of all the bad quarterbacks that we've had over the years. Come on, Caleb is a winner, bro.
No, Joe, you got to name it right. It's post-traumatic quarterback
Yeah,
this week.
post-traumatic quarterback.
thing-
We gotta diagnose you. I got some Zanny pills on the way to you. Don't worry about it.
When I like players in college, I look at their conferences they play in, how
Yep.
they played against their rivals, which, Caleb threw 3 interceptions in the first half against Notre Dame. I seen him. I know he's making a lot of rookie mistakes last year when he was open. When he did have time and the open receiver, you would overthrow him. Yes, we've seen some good throws. Awesome. Yeah. But I wanted Jaden Daniels from day one, 3 months before the draft. He played in the SEC, and now look at him. So hopefully, and we'll see if he has another good year, then Bears fans are really going to say it.
I
But
mean, I'll stop listening to Bear fans, man. They're very negative crowd
yeah,
of people.
especially me.
Yes. Yeah.
So if I want Caleb to do good, obviously, I want him to do great. So hopefully with this offensive line that's revamped, hopefully he does it. Back to Swift is that, yes, he had 959 yards last year with a shitty offensive line. He had some great catches out of the backfield, and I have no problem keeping him if he has a 900 or over 1,000. I think he's having like 1,100 miles, or 1,100 miles, 1,100 yards this year. So I don't know why Swift is up there, but Bears fans just want to get rid of him.
And Sweat just needs to not be injured, right? He played the whole year injured last year, and we got him help. We got him help in the interior and on the other side of the ball, so I can understand why, maybe he's on the list. Now, Joe, I'm going to say, before I go to you on this, good morning, Mitch. Brian Urlacher was on Johnny Manziel's show the other day. And Urlacher said if the situation was different in Chicago last year, meaning the offensive line and the play calling, he believes Caleb Williams would have been the rookie of the year. What do you think?
I 100% agree with that. I mean, come on, again, we're talking about Caleb was put in a situation where they went through 2 coaches. He has nobody to lead him, so he's out there blind, just trying to make plays, And obviously the offensive line wasn't the best, and he still didn't throw tons of interceptions. So I like, and what I said earlier, which I don't think Woody was on the show, what I like about Caleb is when I watch him versus when we had what was his name, the one quarterback everyone loved, the white
Tyson
dude. I can't remember. The one we signed like 5 years, 6 years. That was our quarterback for a while.
Cutler?
Yeah, Cutler. Yeah, Cutler.
Oh yeah,
With Cutler would always get injured. Supposedly, when we're losing, he was a loser. Like he would give up. Whereas I watch Caleb, he gets pissed, he gets aggressive. I mean, he gets disappointed. He wants to win. I like his drive. What I said earlier, like I'm a Justin Fields fan, but he was not a person that could lead the team. Where I think Caleb Williams, he's going to be vocal. He's going to be on the line, on the sidelines, talking and trying to get everybody in the game. And he don't give up. He don't give up at all. He's going to play all the way to the end. That's what I think about Caleb Williams.
All things considered, with Caleb last year, I mean, the coaching issues. I mean, guy had 3 different offensive coordinators in year 1, 2 different head coaches.
Right.
To set a rookie record for the least amount, for no interceptions to the longest streak without an interception for a rookie ever, second ever in the NFL behind only Aaron Rodgers, who did that during an MVP season, was pretty good. He's got to improve on the sacks. He did get better as the season went on about knowing when to get rid of the ball. The thing I loved about him initially, I was like, oh, now I see why we did this and got rid of Fields, was his first instinct isn't tuck and run. His instinct is to look downfield and to continue to become a passer and a threat to pass and not just a runner. I like that part of his decision-making process. I do agree that he needs to be on the list of to improve, because he's got to improve still. And with different better coaching, better offensive line, I think does improve. And the Bears could be, set to end the playoff drought. And this kind of goes to a question that Go Pack Go asked, who can beat the Eagles this season? And the short answer is, I think all the NFC North teams can beat them this year. Grady Jarrett's going to have a big impact there, Mike. I think. But look, these are teams that could end a playoff drought.
No,
the
it's
Bears
okay.
of this are the only team on this list that I think end their drought this year and get into the playoffs. They've got personnel to do it. What do you guys think?
I agree. And I will comment on the Sweat injured. We can't really say much, but I think he's going to improve. As far as Swift goes, I think Swift, man, they need to throw it more to him on the outside. I won a lot of money last year betting on him on yards after the catch or just yards from catching. He's fast. He's just not a big running back, so he can't. You're not going to see him pound it in there. But if you give him the ball and he gets on the outside, that boy is gone. I mean, he's gone. He's fast. So I think they should use a more of the what do you call it? Just drop off passes and just get him out there because he does. He does. Once he gets that ball, man, he's gone. But as far as we need a running back that can go and hit the hole, hit the freaking, hit the hole and get us some rough yards, tough yards, which that's probably what we'll do. We'll use the other running back that we got.
That should be Roshan. I think Minagi is going to be that too.
Yeah.
But like, even with that, yes, Mitch. I said the Bears have of that list. I threw up the Bears have the best shot to make the playoffs. That's correct, Mitch.
I agree.
But
bring that list up, Ken.
Swift did improve running it down the pipes as the season went on. He did get better that aspect of his game, but I agree. It needs to be Roshan and Minagi. Go ahead, Woody. You were going to say something?
Bring that list up again of the breakoff, and I'll let you know.
Thanks, sir.
Yeah.
Let us know.
Out of those teams, if I had to pick one, either the Bears or Falcons, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Out of those teams.
So you have a positive thing to say about the Bears. I love it.
Mitch you got to remember, Mitch is a Lions fan, so the idea of the Bears making the playoffs to him is like, it'll never happen. And like, here's the thing, and I like Motown Mitch. He comes on the morning show every day. He's here every week for the Bears show. He too, and he adds a lot. But Mitch is under the impression that the Lions will have zero drop off, that everything up there is hunky dory. I think they're the most primed to have the wheels fall off because of the amount of upheaval and they've had with losing 2 offensive line stars, all new coaching staff. The NFC North is going to be tough, and the Lions are still got a lot of good players, but the Bears could definitely make. And to go back to what Mike here said, Grady Jarrett, like people aren't talking about that impact he's going to have. Mm-hmm. Right now, Dexter Gervin can kind of move to the outside, push out a little bit with Jarrett. I mean, mucking up the middle. So people aren't talking about Grady Jarrett coming to the Bears. That's a big impact. And while we're excited about the offense, the defense interior line is going to be sick in Chicago this year, and that's going to help with the edges. That's going to help get pressures. And like you look at a guy like Goff who gets when he gets pressured, what does he do? He makes bad decisions. He's made that his whole career. He's had in big games, definitely.
Well, listen, I like to break the team down. It's not like I hope Caleb Williams does great, and you better do fucking great when I'm there on week 3. But anyway,
hey, if he does great, will you buy his jersey?
No, I don't drive. I don't
Come
buy.
on, man.
I don't buy any current players' jerseys. Only retired.
Okay.
But I break down the game like 2 years ago. We were number 1 in the first half, first drive, getting points. We sucked last year. We had a couple of games. We had a couple games at 0 points at halftime. The first game that we won against Tennessee, all the defense got all the points. That's what I'm looking at. That Caleb Williams has to have a big turnaround from last year, even though the offensive line sucked. Is that I hope he does well, and if this offensive line works out, I hope it does work out.
My phone's about to die, guys, so I'm getting off. But hey, tell Mike to make me one of these cool banners you guys got. I'm tired of my car being in the background.
We all made our own, dude.
I made my own.
Oh, you made your own?
Oh yeah.
Where do you guys make it?
AI.
Got you. All right, man. All right, well, hey, bro, I appreciate you guys letting me on. I'll talk to you.
Have a good one, Joe. We'll see you again soon.
All right, bro.
Yeah, I look at this is Mitch. 12 to 13 wins. They're better by default. Okay, Mitch. Go Pack Go is laughing at you right now. I'm laughing at you right now. And Woody's just shaking his head. I'm not saying that the Lions are going to fall. I would say I wouldn't be surprised if they did with the amount of turnover they had, coaching and player-wise. That's a in fact to Go Pack Go brought up all 4 teams with the new center this year. Yeah, Dan Campbell is going to have to prove that he's actually a good coach because he's not designing anything up there. He's basically Flavor Flav on steroids.
Your neighbor from up there.
Oh, Todd.
Yep. I agree with you, Go Pack Go. They have to play smarter. And for the Bears, our success, I think, is all predicated on this improved offensive line. The defense can be improved. That's great. But if this offensive line is not improved, then it's all for naught, I think, Woody. I mean, if this offensive line, for what we went from spending about the least to 6th most in the league. If this offensive line is not vastly improved, we're in trouble this year.
Yeah, we had the 2nd cheapest offensive line last year.
Yeah.
And with all this money put in the offensive line, which Dahlman, I think, could be our center of the future, but he hasn't had a healthy year. Tooney, yes, he won the Super Bowl with Patrick Mahomes.
A few.
And Jonah,
yep.
and Jonah Jackson played with Ben Johnson. So, yeah, if this offensive line isn't, if there's sacks right off the bat, we're back to square one, and we're lucky to win 6 games or 5 games again.
Yeah,
we're playing 10 playoff teams from last year. It doesn't mean nothing, but it does.
Yeah, I mean, with Tooney, he's the oldest of the group now. I'm just wondering, we've got him for 3 years, right? The extension.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering how good he's going to be for all 3 of those years. At what point does he need to be replaced? And is that maybe Braxton Jones? You see where I'm going?
All right.
Braxton, I think, is more built to be a guard. I mean, Braxton, if they can get transition him to a guard, and he plays behind Tooney and becomes like the super sub for the right and left guard, then when Tooney gets ready to go to pasture, retire, right off in the sunset, life at the beach, Braxton Jones, unless we draft someone, could be the left guard of the future.
Yeah,
I think he'd be better at left guard being a left tackle for the last couple of years in the league. I think he'd be better suited to be a left guard. So I would like the Bears, if possible, if Trapio works and stays healthy, I would really love to see Braxton Jones become the understudy to Tooney, because we all know these offensive linemen get better with age, it seems. Like, I don't mind having a 27, 28-year-old Braxton Jones taking over the starting role in 2 years or whatever from Tooney when Tooney retires. I think that might be worth the money to develop him into that. And now you've got a guy for another 4 or 5 years who's just, that means now we could get solid left guard play for the next 6 to 8 years.
Yeah, our offensive line and interior defensive line is where we got to improve. Obviously, with the offensive line, defensive line, we have to pressure this quarterback. I mean, help us out and stuff like that. And I don't want to see a lot of 3 and outs. That's the Bears' motto the last couple of years.
Yeah. And what I want to see too is it would be nice if we could see a contract extension at some point before camp. I want to see some safeties under contract for next season.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to wait till the end of the year to try to fill the safety room.
Nope.
And I get why they're waiting on Brisker. And if Brisker can have a good year, wow, what a story. He had to retrain his entire nervous system, he said, to play. He's been posting videos on X of his workouts. He's looking good. But okay, who's in the safety room? On Mr. Simone Biles. I like him in a reserve role as a backup guy. He gives you good minutes when you need it. But he's on a 1-year deal, the 1-year deal. So are we going to re-sign Jonathan Owens? I hope so, because I like him in that role, and he's been worth the money we're paying him. But Byard is getting old. So is Byard going to come back? Like, we need to figure out the safety position and have someone under contract before this season ends.
Yep. I hear you.
Mike says, with a great coach, if he is, we can play off our strengths for once. Yeah, I agree. Look, I think if this offensive line is good, this offense could be very explosive. Like, massively explosive. And everyone in the league is like, oh my God, where's this Bears team coming from? We know what's on this roster. if this offensive line can hold, this could be a very explosive line. And with that last terrible take by me, we're about out of time. I want to thank Joe and Dan for being on today. Woody and Mike, of course, as always, for being here. People in the comments, Mike, Go Pack Go, Motown Mitch, all you guys, thank you so much. The guys, people on X watching, don't forget, we will be back here, or I'll be back tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. for Ken and Ken in the morning, Monday through Friday. We'll be back here Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Central, 8 on the East for another edition of Halas Hall. Have a great day, everyone. Bear down.
Bear down.